What's up, nerds? Welcome to nintendopowblock Expansion Pack. Remember, you can find Expansion Pack every Monday here on youtube.com/ngrradio or ngrradio.com/expansion pack. Joining me, as always, is that retro code, Edward Varnell, Eddie V.
Hi, everybody.
The Magic Man, El Diablo. I don't know. Sorry. Talladega Nights is on TBS like every day. So.
And I still haven't watched that movie.
I hate that movie so much. I know someone's going to comment on that, but I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I don't like that movie. So, anyways, we're not here to talk about bad Will Ferrell movies. We're here to talk about our topic of the show. Wait. Hold on. Are we? Yeah, we are. Okay. Sorry. I got real concerned that it wasn't recording my audio, but it is. So we're good. We're good. We're good, everybody. Everybody, we're good. Good. I'm not talking to anybody. My wife's gone. Anyways, Mish, we're good. The cat. Anyways, our topic, actually inspired by a couple tweets I saw friends of ours tweet out today. Specifically, Joey Ferris from Ferris Wheel Productions. Shout out to him. Check out his channel. It's really good. We talked about this a little bit on Powblock last couple weeks ago, maybe. But, what is Retro's new game? That is the big topic of discussion. And will it be at E3? Now, what we discussed on the show on Powblock, or was it Powblock? I don't remember what show it was on. I think it was Powblock. Something sci-fi-esque with some light puzzle elements a la Halo. Something sci-fi, something a little bit more, not mature, but a little bit
teen rated.
Yeah, more, more teen rated, more kind of not aimed towards kids like a lot of Nintendo products are. Although Zelda was kind of dark in its own ways, but you guys kind of get the idea of what we're going for. Kind of Halo-esque type first-person game. And then I saw Joey tweet out that, he's like, my thoughts on Retro's new game, something sci-fi, probably first-person, a little light on the Metroidvania aspects because they don't want to do Metroid. They want to do their new IP. They want to do their own thing. And it got me really excited. So we're doing this topic. Ed, what do you think Retro's new game is?
As a sci-fi game, if we're going to go sci-fi adventure game, I think it's a female-led kind of sorry about that. I think it's like a female-led platformer. But it's kind of more in the vein of maybe Mario 64. Where you're in one area, but you're collecting stars and maybe coins or something like that. But you're probably in the space station and you gotta fix things while it's telling you the story. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm thinking it is.
Interesting. I'm kind of I want them to do something like Halo, but I'm afraid it would be too much like Metroid to the point where mm-hmm. I don't want them to do Metroid Prime again. I do want them to do Metroid Prime again, but if they're doing their new IP, I want it to be different. But I still want something that gets me excited to play it like Halo does, And, I want it to be that kind of first-person shooter/adventure game that, Halo gives us and Nintendo doesn't really have in their arsenal right now. The only shooter they really have at least in terms of first party, is Splatoon. And then, you could go okay, well, they have Doom, and by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be Wolfenstein. And, maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll already know what Retro's new game is. But this is us speculating. I'm going to have to rearrange some scheduling things for Expansion Pack. But, so this comes out earlier than some other ones that are kind of not as time sensitive.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, dude. Sorry, everybody. deciding to mow our lawn at 7:30 at night, and it's really like making me upset. I am like visibly upset right now. I know you can't tell because I don't really get visibly upset, but they're supposed to do this stuff at 10 o'clock in the morning when nobody's home, and they're doing it at 7:30 at night, and it makes me very upset. I know this is great content for expansion pack, and I know everybody wants to know what's happening outside my apartment building, but anyways, I wanted to have, and I also wanted to have kind of like a light competitive element, kind of like Halo does. Like I would love to see Nintendo's take on a Halo type game, and I think Retro, even though some of their like major players have gone to work on Halo, or a lot of them went to work on games like Recore and some other titles like that. Like I would love to see Retro take this kind of different approach. What? You just thought of something like Recore, didn't you? But different.
No.
Oh.
You remember that canceled game Hammer?
Project
That was
Hammer?
supposed to come on. Yeah, Project Hammer.
The Wii game that they showed where you were like waving your. Are you? Explain. Sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No, I think they may have probably looked at that game and took some elements and place it in a sci-fi kind of world. What if they're doing an action adventure game like Platinum or Ninja Theory style? Like what if they're really making a combo heavy action game set in a sci-fi setting?
You think they would go that? You think they would do that?
If Retro wants to do something new that's unexpected, that would be the thing. And I could literally see them take a mix of like Project Hammer, mix it in with our thoughts of the Kid Icarus open world game, place it in a sci-fi setting where you have the elements of like fire, water, ice, and all the Mega Man type things, and like kind of make it like action packed, and not so much. I mean, it would connect, and people might call it, oh, this is Nintendo's God of War in a sense, but I was just like, you know what? I would love to see them try a button combo heavy game. And probably taking Project Hammer and placing it in a sci-fi setting where your hammer also changes to different weapons. That, like, it would be something cool to see.
Yeah.
From a first party point of view, instead of leading it out to like something like Platinum or something.
Yeah. That'd be interesting because, like, I feel like, as well as Nintendo internally is doing, I feel like they need they need the Switch's version of Rare, and during GameCube and Wii, like Retro was that, and Retro gave us a couple, like 3 amazing Metroid games and 2 amazing Donkey Kong games.
Yes,
but I feel like they haven't really like got to bust out of their shell, and I feel like this new IP is going to allow them to do that.
Yeah.
And like I want to see what they can do. I want to see what they can do with that. I want them to have their Donkey Kong Country moment. I want them to have their Banjo-Kazooie moment, their Perfect Dark moment. I want them to have those moments, and like we've got like Metroid Prime was like one step in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, not that like Metroid Prime 2 or 3 were bad, or Donkey Kong, those games were bad or anything, but I feel like people have generally been more disappointed the more Retro has put out. Like I think people were upset when Donkey Kong Country Returns came out and it wasn't Metroid Prime 4.
I think the thing about it is that people place the expectancy on Retro. So what they thought that, okay, now Retro is the head studio that should only touch Metroid, which I think that as gamers, we shouldn't have placed, or you shouldn't have placed that expectancy on them. This is Nintendo. A lot of their departments and a lot of their developers do different things to try to make different games.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes them a while to do research and development because sometimes those team members might be get moved to a different team to help make that game. So with Retro, kind of being Nintendo's only US developer, it giving them a game that's only been done in Japan, or two games that's only been done in Japan. Well, one game that's been done in Japan, the other game done in England. This US based company was just like, because one series was really good, that they should be stuck to that series.
Yeah.
And with Retro, we just want to see great quality work for them. Like we want, like to me, I want to see their artwork because I know that their gameplay and their level design is there, but I want to see how they design their worlds and stuff. Like there's just something more interesting than placing them that you guys are the developers now of the Metroid series and you should be stuck to that. No, they're different developers at Retro and they want to expound and show their creativity.
Yeah.
So I think this sci-fi setting, yeah, that might be a foundation for them. But I think they're ready. I think they're just trying to do something different. Whether it is well, because it's a new IP. Retro is just like, okay, you guys seen what we could do. We want to go on our own and really create something. What we need from Nintendo Japan is that you guys come in and check it and give us ideas.
Yeah.
Because you see our creativity, you see our vision, and we know you guys could come and approve stuff and disapprove of stuff, but your disapproval is that something like this won't work, but you give us alternatives.
Yeah.
So that's what, with Retro, with this new game, whatever it may be, that's probably what they're going for.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I hope we see Retro's game at E3. Like, I really do. I think we have to, right? Like
it's in the Nintendo spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, I know like the big focus is on Smash and the rumor is Pokemon, and I just think even if the game doesn't come out this year, like people need to know what Retro's working on. I think think they have enough cachet with fans that like people want to know what they are working on. The same way people like wanted to know what Sucker Punch was working on last year, or Insomniac was working on until they revealed their projects. For PlayStation, right. Or like, it. I just think people want to see what they're working on, and that includes me. Like, I really do.
I think a lot of people will be disappointed and somewhat upset if they're not at E3 or something about them not get announced, because people are wondering what is Nintendo doing to Retro, and people will get concerned. And a lot of people will get concerned about Retro themselves, just like, we want to support you guys and we're buying your games, but we want to see what your new project is, because it's unfair that everybody else is showing their games when somewhat they're ready, and we've been waiting for years here in America ready to support you, and we haven't gotten nothing back. So now it's time for you to unveil, trying to show us a cutscene, do some kind of announcement, because that's what we as the Nintendo fan base and just gamers in general want to see.
Yeah. And I really hope it's a new IP too. I know there's a big rumor right now also that it might be a third Donkey Kong game, especially after that Nintendo Italy tweet. But like, I don't know. I don't know if Retro would be working on that. I think they've earned their new IP, and
right.
And I don't really know exactly how big that studio is, but I'm assuming they only have one team. So, like, if they're being relegated to Donkey Kong again, especially with, like, Tropical Freeze getting a re-release, man. And I know, like, their internal team is porting that. Like, it's not an outside team, it's Retro porting that. But
Yeah.
like that's probably just like a small team of engineers, and maybe a couple devs to include Funky Kong in there to make sure like Funky doesn't break the game. It can't be the whole
Right.
studio working on this. So we'll see. I hope it's something big. I hope it's something expansive, and I hope it's something that I maybe you, me, and Jesse, or a combination of our friends can play together.
And I think, even with the team working on Donkey Kong during the Wii U days, I think they've been working on this third project for years.
Yeah.
So, and working it on as getting the story, getting the characters, doing art, I think most of this is probably taking part of the research and development with gameplay ideas and level design. I think that probably happened through the whole Wii U lifespan. So
Yeah.
now that the Wii U lifespan is over with, they probably got something set in stone, and now they're putting things together.
Yeah.
So, and it might be a game that if they're ready to show it, we might get it this year, or we might get it next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, that's gonna wrap this episode of Expansion Pack. What do you want to see from Retro? What do you expect to see from Retro? And will you be disappointed if it's Donkey Kong 3? Will you be disappointed if it's not their new IP? Let us know. Leave a comment. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be revisiting this topic until this game is revealed. And when it is revealed, we're gonna talk about what we saw. So stay tuned for that here on youtube.com/NGR Radio. Like, subscribe, and share. Download Nintendo Pow Block every Tuesday and Friday. And check out a plethora of our other content. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody.